Hi hopefuls, I hope that you're well. KATIE-REBEKAH, I love the nails check-in. I remember when we first started Dear Hopefuls, a lot of videos that talked about goals and goal setting, and I think you had even posted a video about what you were giving up for Lent one year, and a lot of those goals was to stop biting your nails. So I feel like every time you get a new set, it's like just further proof of how much you absolutely crushed that goal. Raquel, I can't wait to hear any bits about your trip. I'm sure that you're trying to be very present and in the moment. So I'm excited to hear any little bits you're going to share with us when you're able to. This month we are pulling from our old videos. We're getting inspiration or just recreating them or reacting to them. So I am pulling from my 60-second video, which was called, What is Everyone Reading? And I know that we're just coming off of Booktober and we've been kind of talking about books a lot, but I have been reading now, so I just want to keep talking about books. So I want to know, what are you reading this November? What's on your TBR list? What books are you loving? What are you just getting through? How many books do you think you'll finish this month, now that we're about halfway? So far this month, I have read and finished 3 books. I've read Daisy Jones and the Six, which I have talked about earlier this month, which was also by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who wrote The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Great author. I've put more of her books on my to-be-read list, but nothing that I'm planning to read for the month of November. I have also finished reading a digital book that I've been struggling through for so long called Murder at Beacon Bake Shop. Gosh, I'm so glad it's done. I know, like, don't read bad books, but sometimes you got to so other people don't have to, you know? That was kind of one of them. The elements were nice, but I did not like the author's writing style at all. And I will not be reading anymore. I read A Corn of Thorns and Roses. I know that it's been all over the internet. I've seen it all over, and it never really got onto my radar as something to read, and I don't know what made me put it onto my to-be-read list, and then what made me get it from the library. Daisy Jones and the Six and A Court of Thorns and Roses, I both got from the library, and I don't know what made me decide to get it, because all of my books that I get from the library, I do it through the library's website, so that way they have them on hold so I can just pick them up, because it is impossible for me to peruse the library shelves with my kids with me. It is not possible. So that's how I have to pick up those books. I don't know why I was like, let's finally give this a read. Maybe it's because one of my friends just read the first one, and I was like, okay, let's finally give this a go, and I did really enjoy it. I thought it was great. I'm getting the second book, I can't remember what it's called, A Court of Mist and Fury, from the library, just waiting for it to be in transit. So those are the 3 books I've read. I am still reading Hocus Pocus, the sequel book. I am struggling to get through that. So I'm just gonna pick at it and just ignore the fact that it's going to take my average time to read a book. Like, it's gonna skyrocket that number, because I've been reading that since the middle of October now. I have just started, over the last couple of days, the 9th book in the Myrtlewood mysteries series, Impractical Magic by Iris Buglehole, and I'm so excited to be reading it. It's one of those more fluffy ones. I've talked about this before last year when I read books 1 through 8 of her series, that it's just kind of light and fluffy. Sometimes the writing is like hit or miss. Some things are like too spot on the nose, but it's okay. I love the story and the characters, and I can kind of like overlook the more, I don't know, obviousness of the writing style, I think you could call it, because that series is what got me really back into reading last year, and it just has a special place in my heart, and this 9th book just came out on October 31st. So now that I finally finished Beacon Bake Shop, I've started this one, and I'm so happy. I do not remember where we left off in the series, because I finished those books last year, so I'm just trying to like reach into like the depths of my memory from the last time I read this series. When they start bringing up characters, I'm like, what happened with that again? I don't remember, because I'm also reading a parallel series that takes place in Myrtlewood, It's the Crohn's series, the Crohn's of Mystic Sparks, I think is the first one. And that has 4 books that I've read, and it's like it's the same town with like you crossover characters. So I'm like trying to remember what happened in this series, but I'm so excited to be reading it. And then what I just got from the library that I've been waiting to come in is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillis. Gillig. So I'm looking forward to starting this. This is in my immediate to be read pile because it's from the library, so I only have 3 weeks with this book unless I renew. Very excited to start reading that. So then I've got Court of Mist and Fury coming from the library eventually, so I think that will also be in my to be read pile for November. And I don't think I have anything else before going into December. I would like to put a little bit more time and effort into reading this Hocus Pocus book. I think will probably be it, so that way I can start December fresh slate, no books going, because for December I would love to just read fluffy Christmas books, like fluffy Hallmark Christmas stories. That is my goal for December. I have not looked into what kind of books to get, but I just want something light, fluffy, and Christmassy. Like that's my goal, because I'll tell you what, December is super sneaking up on me this year, like even more than last year, because I'm so shocked we're halfway through November already. I'm like excuse me. Anyway, what are you reading this November? What have you read? What are you reading? And what do you hope to read for the rest of November? So interested. I want to talk so much more about books, but not in like a booktuber, book content creator way, but just in a maybe like a check-in every now and again, especially if like any books really make me go, you should read this. So I might start tacking that in on the end of some videos, whatever that may be. But I hope you enjoyed this. I look forward to hear what you're reading, and I will meet you back here next Tuesday.